Hi, welcome to the Craft Channel. My name's Corinne Brad and today I've got a very easy no-sew project for you, but it's very handy if you are a stitcher or a DIYer or anybody really that just needs somewhere that they can hold screws or pins and get to them quite easily without having to hold them in their hand. Now, to be fair, these are the biggest screws in the world, but at the end of the day, Toby couldn't find any smaller to demonstrate with. But I'll show you how easy it is to make them. You can buy magnetic sheet, flexible magnetic sheet in A4 sheets. So, I'm not going to put that on there because it's big and black. You want to cut yourself a piece of magnetic sheet that is about 15 centimetres long by 4 centimetres wide. In imperial, that is 6 inches long by about 1.5 inches wide. And most of these magnetic sheets are only magnetic on one side, which is the shinier side. Grab yourself some fabric which I should have ironed before I came on, but I didn't because, you know me, always forget something along the line. This is really pretty fabric actually. And you want a piece of fabric that is about 11 centimetres wide by, what is this? This is 21 centimetres long? Yeah, 21 centimetres long. So that is just under 8.5 inches by 4.5 inches. And this is, as I say, a no-sew project. So what you're going to do first of all is you're going to fold in about 1/8 of an inch or 5 millimetres on both of the short edges and finger press them like this. And then either use a dry glue stick or a fabric glue just to, if you wind it up so you can actually get the glue out, just to hold that hemmed edge down. Oh, a bit more glue on there. And the great thing I've found with dry glue sticks, you don't have to use this particular brand, but it does mean that you can get a decent bond, especially on fabric, without it getting too wet. Then you also want to fold up about 1/8 of an inch or 5 millimetres on one of your long edges. And again, finger press it. And run some glue down there. Don't be too worried if you feel you've put too much glue on there, because all of the inside of this fabric will be hidden anyway. And it dries pretty quickly. So fold that down like so. And what you will do is you will put your magnetic strip, magnetic side, facing the fabric. But just before I'm going to do this, now the magnetic strip on its own is absolutely fine for holding pins. But if you are doing DIY and you want screws on it, they're just too heavy. So you can buy these magnets, and they're called neodymium, I believe. I'm always saying that wrong. People sometimes call them rare earth magnets. They're very thin. Oh, you can see how thin they are, but they're very strong. So strong that they'll fly off my finger and try and hit the metal edge of my ruler. But they are strong enough to hold a screw in place. So if you're worried that your magnetic strip isn't going to be strong enough, just invest in a little pack of these. Keep them away from children and pets, please, though, because they are very small and they are very magnetic. So pop them into the middle of your strip and then pop your strip in the middle of your fabric. Now I've arranged this so that my little raccoon faces will be face down along the strip. And then glue the raw edge of your fabric to the back of your magnet. Just quickly going to put a bit more glue here. And it doesn't have to be too tall. because obviously when your wristlet is going around your wrist, it does need to bend. So if you've got your fabric really tight, it won't bend particularly easily. Once that side's glued down, glue along your hemmed edge and the sides. Try and pick away all those random pieces of fabric that are now starting to fray. You can alleviate this problem actually if you cut your fabric with pinking shears in the first place. But I just did mine with a normal rotary cutter because I didn't think it was going to fray this much. And fold that to the back. And just double check the positioning of your motif on the front. I've now got glue on my fingers. That'll do. So in an ideal world, you would let that glue dry for a little bit. But you know us, we like to do things now. And then to make the attachment, you may have seen there's been quite a lot of press coverage, I think, for these resin snaps. And they're like the ones that you get on baby grows and things like that. And they're so easy to fit. I wish I'd found them sooner. What you do is you take your fabric and you make a hole with the bridle that they give you in your fabric. Now, to make sure that these are symmetrical, I'm going to fold my wristlet in half and use the bridle to make a hole here. So that's about 1 centimetre in from both the end and the side, right through to the other side. And then I'm just going to fold it in half in this direction and make another hole in the same place, just to make sure that they're symmetrical. Like so. And then these are really easy to fit. What you have is you have male and female parts and caps. So you pop your caps through the holes with the spikes like this, and then you just pop on, this is the male half, and normally when you buy these it comes complete with the pliers, so the cap sits on the large black base and the top bit sits underneath the spongy stopper. And then you just press, and actually it doesn't take an awful lot of pressure to press this down, and it squashes that spike and keeps the cap in place, at the male part of the popper in place. And actually I've tried these for a while, they do hold really, really well. When you come to do the other side, don't forget that you'll need the caps to be on the inside of your wristlet. So do the same thing, pop the spikes of the caps through the holes that you've made with the bridle. Pop the female part in, pop it in there and squeeze. And squeeze. And then you can just pop the two bits together. And you have another wristlet, and those neodymium magnets will stay in place because obviously it's a magnet to a magnet. And then just as you're working as your dressmaking, rather than keep having to hold a pin cushion and pull the pins out, or wear a pin cushion in your wrist and risk stabbing yourself as you put the pins back in the pin cushion, you can just lay them there and then just pick them off as you need them. If you lay them like that and put your hand back, you're not going to stab yourself because it will just move. But quite a neat idea. Again, as I say, no sewing involved. It's a great way of using up scraps of fabric. And I'll tell you something, once you've bought one of those magnetic strips or sheets of magnet, you'll find all sorts of uses for them. It's the kind of thing that you can make fridge magnets out of. So I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. I hope that you will find a use for these magnetic wristlets, and we will see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. If you've been inspired to create, please share your makes with us in the comments section below. And if you've enjoyed videos by the Crafts channel, hit the like button. Want to see more of us? Then click subscribe. See you next time.